Coming to you live for the Built Forward Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are on the free Odyssey app. Good Friday morning, a feel-good Friday. Thanks to Jalen Brunson, things were looking bleak. A terrible fourth quarter after finally one of their best third quarters of the year. They come out, they can't score in the fourth quarter. The game is slipping away. And Jalen Brunson isolation ball worked this particular time. The unbelievable layup under the basket, and of course the crossover three to give them the lead that they held on to as Detroit throws away their final possession. Malik Beasley can't catch the ball. Just an amazing basketball game. I mean, this was entertainment at its best, the best that the NBA can offer in the postseason in a basketball game. It was just awesome. I mean, I'm sitting here conflicted. I don't think I've ever felt like this before in my life where I'm so jacked up about the team and what happened last night, and I'm fist pumping in the house. But then I think about what's coming next, and I'm like, well, it's going to end now. So I'm going to enjoy this for a little bit, and then they're going to go right to a blender in Boston. But today's a feel-good Friday. What a shot, what a guy, what a player. Jalen Brunson. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, man, it was awesome last night. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with everybody else out there who's a Knicks fan watching Jalen Brunson do what he did. And here's the one thing I will say. Karl-Anthony Towns, 6 fouls, 10 points. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why Jalen Brunson has to take the ball at the end of the game. And it also highlights the fact that Tibbs didn't get him into the game in the previous game at home. Because when he's not on the court, everybody's standing around and nobody's doing anything. He is, the fourth highest paid or third highest paid on this team? He should be the highest paid by far because he does the most work. He is the smallest guy on the court other than Deuce McBride. He takes a number of hits. He goes down a lot. He spends a lot of time actually on the court laying down. But it was amazing. His final shot was amazing. And it just, I texted you at halftime. I'm like, how in the hell are the Knicks down at halftime after that first half?
Yeah, I mean, and they had a 15-point lead that they just choked away. Defensively, they were terrible. They gave up 61 points in the first half to a Pistons team that's not known for their offense. It was really disconcerting. I mean, and then the way they played in the fourth quarter was even worse than how they played in the second quarter. I mean, at one point, the disparity was like 25-4 in the fourth quarter until Jalen Brunson decided, all right, enough is enough. And, he has that thing. Like the Pistons, I know that all these games are close, but, they've had a number of opportunities late in these games where they haven't had the big shot, the big moment, and Jalen Brunson is clutch. He just is, and this is why he's dribbling around all the time at the end of games, because more often than not, he's pulling something off like that.
Looking at the postseason statistics, I mean, the Knicks, Pistons, and Boston Celtics, believe it or not, are very, very close to each other in attempted threes, made threes, and three-point percentage, okay? So they're almost all right there.
Yeah.
So they're all right around 31 attempts. They're all about the Knicks. The Knicks are actually 37% make. The Celtics are 38% make. They make one more three than the Knicks do. But here's the difference between the Pistons and the Celtics. When they need to have a shot to be made, they have it made. It doesn't get bricked or
Right.
They have 5 guys on the court that can score, and they spread the floor, and they have some incredible shooters that if they're on, the Knicks are going to have to be more than what they were last night. It can't just be a one-man show. And there are a couple guys that played really good games last night.
Mikal Bridges, we've been all over him, and rightfully so. Mikal Bridges, his best game as a Knick, considering how big of a game it was. I mean, that tip in.
I think he had one 3-point play,
but this
three-point shot.
This tip in here,
that was great.
That was critical with 35 seconds to go, where he finds himself in the perfect position, maximum effort. I mean, that was a huge, huge play. And then that big left-handed dunk that he had, that really helped the momentum turn for them at that point in the game. So he was awesome. He was great. And if you're going to get that Mikal Bridges against the Celtics, that's a huge boost. But I mean, I don't want to be too negative today. I really don't.
No, there's nothing to be negative
about.
Well,
there is. Karl-Anthony Towns, you could be negative about.
Well, he had a bad game last night. He fouled out again. And I don't necessarily know that the Boston Celtics are going to play him this way. Like, this is not – the Celtics aren't the Pistons. The Pistons mucked this whole thing up. It was physical. It was, guys hanging off of each other, guys undercutting each other. The Celtics don't play that way.
No, they don't, and maybe the physical nature of what they had to deal with the Knicks in the first series against the Pistons will give them a physical advantage in this series. It's possible, but the difference is simple between the Pistons and the Celtics. You're talking about a team in Detroit that has a veteran presence, sure, but they're an up-and-coming young team who's just learning at this phase what playoff basketball is about, and now you got the defending world champs.
Well, here we are. So you're in this second round, and you're starting now. You're playing the real teams in the NBA, and this is where the Knicks have had problems, but I have to say, and I don't want to minimize what happened last night and the fact that they won 3 games in Detroit and the way that when Brunson is on the court, he does and has to do so much. It's got to be exhausting for him.
Oh, yeah.
Physically exhausting, mentally exhausting, knowing that everybody on that team expects him to do something with the ball. And he's got this little fadeaway jumper. He's got these three-point shots that are ridiculous at times. And they're going to need that, and they're going to need something from everyone in this next series. And, it's great that they're here now. This is where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And they are built to be able to go at least against the Celtics and give them a run. And the question is will they be able to do that? And the good news is that they don't start until Monday. So they got 3 days off. They'll practice. They'll look at videotape. They'll get their treatments. And hopefully when they get to Boston come Monday night, that they will be healthy and they will feel good about what they just accomplished, and there'll be a little bit of juice in their step. And they're just going to, in order to win this, these 7-game series, almost always go to the best team. It's not like a 5-game series. It's not a one and done.
Especially in the NBA.
Until you get to a Game 7, then maybe
Sure.
something's different. But normally, in a 7-game series in the NBA, the better team comes out on top. So that means, I don't know what FanDuel has the Knicks.
They're
right
a
now.
massive underdog.
They are. So the reality is that even with the changes that were made, and even with the fact that they are healthy going into this series against the Celtics, they're going to be massive underdogs. But that doesn't take anything away from what Jalen Brunson did last night.
No, I mean that shot is up there as one of the more memorable ones since in my lifetime, since I've been alive as a Knicks fan. I mean, that's definitely going to go up there to close out a playoff series. I mean, the Allen Houston, the around the rim going to the basket against the Miami Heat. Obviously, I mean, the LJ 4-point play is elevated.
John Starks dunk.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in that. It's in that conversation because it closed out a playoff series and they came back in the fourth quarter with an 11-1 run, and that crossover was unbelievable. I mean, it's just one of those shots.
That's a great crossover. That move is ridiculous.
I mean,
you want to talk about breaking your opponent's ankles?
I mean, and it's like he is.
Watch this.
Oh my God! And then at that point in the game, where your legs have to be jello, and he's got a bad ankle, to be able to stop on a dime like that in that critical situation and drain that three. God, I mean, that is what you want from an athlete in any sport, is the ability to make that shot, have confidence in that shot, have the team have confidence in you to make that shot. It was just incredible.
Look at his fourth quarter output, and in Game 5 he got stuck on the sideline, and Tom Thibodeau didn't use his timeout,
which looks even dumber today, doesn't it?
Well, it does. It does. There's no question about it. And I thought Tibbs used his timeouts right last night. He tried to stem some of the momentum that Detroit had. Again, he's only the other thing too that is alarming, and the Pistons actually employed some of this. I don't necessarily know that the Celtics have to do this, but this hack Mitch Robinson is woof.
Yeah, but I mean they had guys in foul trouble because of that. I mean, the Celtics aren't going to do that. No, they're not going to do that.
Unless it's late in the game and he happens to be on the court and the game is tight. That's when they may do it. That's when I would do it. It's an obvious way of getting the ball back.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and Tibbs has got to be conscious of that. But so you wanted the odds. So the Celtics are minus 1,000, meaning that if you want to win $100 on the Celtics winning the series, you have to bet 1,000 to win 100. And the Knicks are plus 660. Shout out WFAN. Plus 660.
So if you put 100 on it, you would win $660. That's how much of an underdog they are.
We're in a conundrum. I don't know whether to sit here and celebrate last night's win and, throw all the petals of flowers at Jalen Brunson because it was an amazing shot and it was an amazing, just like heavy performance. I mean, even with them playing defense, the way that the Pistons were playing defense and how they were trying to harass him. Mm-hmm. 3/4 of the court up, and the Knicks have got to set the pick so he can get away from these guys. Think about just the amount of attention that they were paying to him and everything that he had to do, and still, with all of that going on, he was able to drop 40.
Yeah, I mean, and as far as you don't know how to feel, it's the exact same way. Like I was really excited he hit that shot. I thought it was awesome, and I won't forget that. We won't forget that. But I just thinking about my fandom, this is the most unique situation I've ever been in. And I was going through all sorts of big wins and feeling good about things. And then I was like, is there a time where one of my teams won a playoff series, and then I thought that they were going to be completely dead the next series to the point where I was like, I don't even know how much I could celebrate this. Now, it's the way that this one ended and the way that they built this team. Like back in the Carmelo years, like I never, ever thought at any point that they were going to get past the Miami Heat. Coming into this season, I thought that this Knicks team would be able to beat the Boston Celtics or the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the way that the season has gone, now I don't feel that way any longer. But like football and baseball, if you get on that run, you think football, it's one game. We could knock somebody off. We've seen wildcard teams do it all the time. Baseball, the Mets get on this incredible run at the end of last year. They beat the Philadelphia Phillies. They are playing the LA Dodgers. You think there's some way they could pull it off. In this series, after that shot, in that moment, once you're done with it, you're like, oh, okay, well, now they're going to get whacked.
Well, I mean, maybe no, maybe not. And the reason I say that is because maybe this is the series where Karl-Anthony Towns can be more consistent. And when we talked about this, the previous two games in Detroit, he was the man. He was the difference maker.
Yeah, Game 3, he was awesome. And the ball movement in that game as well is what I'd love to see against the Boston Celtics. That was the best version of the team was Game 3.
I would say most of the text messages that I was getting during the game last night were just talking about hero ball and,
worked.
Your teammates.
Worked for one night.
It did. And, but again, like I would say to them and my buddies that are all watching this, and I'll say it again here this morning, I mean, those players are expecting Jalen Brunson to do that. Like his teammates are expecting him to do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're going to sit in the corners and they're going to wait. And if he gets stuck, then he'll throw it to him.
Sure.
But when the game is on the line, they are expecting him to create his own shot. And that's why they spread out the way they do. And it's basically ISO ball, which, we all hate to a certain degree. But when it works and when your superstar point guard is making those shots and creating those opportunities, even a missed shot creates the opportunity for Mikal Bridges to put for the putback.
Sure.
I mean, that's what he is doing. That's what a point guard is doing. This is what we've been screaming about since the days of Walt Frazier. Somebody to control the ball at the end of the game that's got a passion, a guts, a toughness about them, that is not afraid to go into the paint at 6 foot. What is he? 6'2"?
Yeah.
I mean, and deal with the big guys in there. And he creates contact. He creates opportunities for his teammates. And then when he's hitting shots like that last night, they all just get out of the way and let him take over.
Yeah, and it's not exactly the way that they expected to win when they built this roster. They were hoping that he wouldn't have to do this. He wouldn't have to be the guy that did absolutely everything. And there's something, in asking around people who have been around the team a little bit this year, like, what is it about Karl-Anthony Towns? Why is the inconsistencies? Why the disappearing? Why does it look like sometimes he doesn't have the fire that some of the other teammates have? And it basically comes down to the fact that two things is what I've heard. One, he had all those horrible tragedies that happened to him in his family. So, like, his perspective on things is like, hey, I'm happy to be here.
Lost a bunch of people.
He lost like
COVID.
6 family members within like a 5-month span. So, like, he's just happy to have people around him. His dad's around him all the time. He really likes his girlfriend. And he's just like, the life perspective changed for him at that point. And the other thing is that he's too nice. Like, he's just too nice of a guy.
I can't believe we're saying this.
Which is crazy. But he does not feel like a championship player.
Well, he cares. You can tell he cares. I can. He fouled out last night. He only had 10 points. But I think this series against the Celtics, he'll have more room, believe it or not. He will. The other thing that I noticed about him, really can't jump.
No, of course.
His I don't know what his vertical is, like 12 inches?
Well, I mean, especially when he's shooting a three, I don't even think his feet leave the floor.
But I mean, like, how many times he's in the middle of the, trying to get a rebound and loses the rebound somehow.
Yeah, I know.
But I thought during this series, I saw physical Karl-Anthony Towns.
But not enough.
But I did see a guy that was pushing when he got the ball, and he got the ball down low, lowering his shoulder and moving guys out of the way. I mean, he's a house. He's a horse.
No, we know that, but, I mean, he has to be elite to beat the Celtics. I mean, he's got no choice. I mean, Jalen Brunson can't do it by himself in this series. So, I mean, really what you need, if you're going to have a shot in this series, the two new additions need to be the best versions of themselves. You need that Mikal Bridges from last night, and you need Karl-Anthony Towns from Game 3. Every single night, along with Jalen Brunson being a superhero. And it's asking a lot. It really is. But, I mean, there is a difference on how they lose this series. Like, without a doubt. They're a 9-point underdog I just saw in Game 1, which is pretty big for a playoff game. 9-point underdog in Game 1. If they get their doors blown off and swept, then, I mean, you still got to make some major changes in the offseason because they're that far away. If they battle them in a 7-game series and end up losing, you're like, okay, this team can come back, tweak here, tweak there, and take them on. So the balance of the future of this group still is in this series. Just because they beat the Pistons doesn't mean now that this same group can come back next year regardless of what happens in this series. I got to see how they do against the best of the best when it matters.
Well, the other thing, too, is that will the Celtics be different next year? Will they be losing some players because of the amount of money that they're paying their players?
I mean, they don't seem to care.
I think that there is, they obviously just got sold. But I think they have a $500 million salary.
It's a lot.
I mean, that's a lot. So I don't know. I know that, Brown and Tatum are going to be there. The question is, how many of the other guys are going to be able to be there with new ownership? I would think that, you buy a team and you sell a team at its highest value, which is exactly what has happened here because they are in the middle of a championship run of epic proportions for them. Maybe they see it that way of some of the great Celtic teams of the past. But I don't know what they're going to look like next year. All I do know is that they come into this series, they look like they're healthy. The Knicks are healthy at the moment. Knicks got 3 days off now until Monday night. And this is where the Knicks are going to really be challenged. This is where Tibbs has got to challenge those guys on defense. He's got to challenge those guys and I think he also has to expand, maybe add another player to the rotation.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know if he's capable.
He didn't put Precious Achiuwa. He didn't get sniffed in this.
No, he did not.
And I don't know that maybe it's matchups driven. I remember I was playing golf, or we were playing golf with Wally a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Wally told me that in one of the series, and I think it was when he was in Minnesota, or maybe he was in Cleveland, I'm not sure, but he was saying how in one series he didn't play at all. And the coach told him, look, this is not a great matchup for you, so you're not going to play in this series, so don't worry about it. And don't think that it's anything other than matchup-driven, because that's what it is. They win the series, and the next series he's averaging like 13 minutes a game coming off the bench because the coach said the matchup is going to be a lot better for you in this game.
Yeah.
So he ended up playing more in that second series. I don't know if that will be the case with any of these other players that the Knicks have, but, man, the amount of energy that it is taking Jalen Brunson. I mean, we all should bow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And just say, this is the guy that, plays balls to the wall. So does Josh Hart, by the way.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But, I mean, this was Jalen Brunson's night. I mean, his legend continues to grow in that uniform, and it's something that...
Offensively.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Offensively.
Absolutely.
Let's not get crazy on defense now.
No, I did not. I didn't say anything about defense, but his legend still grows because clutch players in New York are the ones that are remembered forever, right?
Offensively.
Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.